Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right off the bat. 99% of you will never reach your full potential. That's right. Most of you will fail to achieve what you are truly capable of, despite all your dreams, all your effort, and all the time you spend thinking about it. But before you get offended, let me explain why. This isn't about you being lazy or unworthy. It's about something much deeper. It's about mindset. It's about how you are conditioned by society, how you are restricted by your fears, your comfort zone, and your lack of understanding of what it takes to truly succeed. The world we live in doesn't teach you how to excel. It teaches you how to survive. It tells you that mediocrity is enough. It pushes you to follow the crowd, to conform, and to be content with average. But that's not how the elite operate. The people who reach their potential don't follow the rules. They make their own. They push themselves beyond limits, beyond what they thought was possible. If you want to be one of the few who makes it, you need to understand what it takes to break free of the chains holding you back. And I'm not talking about positive thinking here. This isn't about reading a self-help book or posting inspirational quotes on your wall. I'm talking about real, tangible change. Change that will push you to make decisions that will hurt, that will challenge you, and will make you uncomfortable. Change that will force you to confront your deepest fears and self-doubt. The question is, are you willing to do what it takes? So, let's break it down. Why do 99% of people never reach their full potential? Let's look at the truth, the harsh truth. You might not like what you hear, but it's time someone said it. And if you're one of the few who can take it, who can absorb it and act on it, you might just make it. Fear of failure holds you back. Most people are paralyzed by the fear of failure. They're so afraid of making mistakes that they end up doing nothing at all. They allow their fear to dictate their actions, or rather, their inaction. You can't succeed without failing. You have to take risks. You have to make decisions that could lead to failure. But the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people is this. Successful people are not afraid to fail. They embrace failure as a part of the process. In fact, they understand that the bigger the failure, the bigger the potential reward. Failure isn't a sign that you're doing it wrong. It's proof that you're pushing the envelope. But most people would rather sit in their comfort zone, never trying anything that might challenge them. They'd rather be comfortable than be great. And that's the difference between someone who achieves their potential and someone who never does. Fear of failure also ties into the fear of judgments. Most people are terrified of what others will think if they fail. They worry about their reputation, their image, and their pride. But if you're not willing to take risks because of what others might think, then you will never break free of mediocrity. You have to stop caring about what other people think and start caring about what you want to achieve. The world doesn't care about your feelings, but it will reward you for your actions. Let me tell you something. If you want to be successful, you have to be okay with being judged. You have to be okay with people thinking you're crazy, stupid, or unrealistic. Because guess what? They're not the ones who will benefit from your success. You are. And the more successful you become, the more people will try to tear you down. They'll tell you that you can't do it, that you're not cut out for success, but it's precisely those people you need to ignore. The road to greatness is not a crowded path, it's a lonely one. Fear of failure holds you back. Most people fear failure, not because of the consequences themselves, but because they've been conditioned to avoid it. Schools teach you that mistakes are bad. Teachers punish you for being wrong. Parents warn you not to take risks. Society at large instills in you a need for security, stability, and a sense of rightness at all costs. And because of this, people tend to stay in their safe, predictable environments. They do what's expected of them, what's normal, and they never step outside the box. They are so terrified of failure that they miss out on the opportunities that come from failure. If you really want to make something of yourself, you must change how you view failure. In fact, you should start to see failure as an ally. The more you fail, the more you learn. The more you fail, the closer you get to success. Successful people fail more than the average person, but they don't quit. They learn from their failures and keep pushing forward. And when they fail again, they don't beat themselves up. They analyze it, learn from it, and try again. In the end, it's not the failures that define us, it's how we respond to them. How many times have you heard stories about someone who failed repeatedly before they succeeded? Those are the stories we remember. And the reason we remember them is simple. They didn't give up. They didn't let the fear of failure control them. They used it as fuel for their fire. But here's the cold, hard truth. Most people are too afraid to fail. They would rather stay in a dead-end job, live in a small house, or accept a mediocre life than take a risk and fail. But in doing so, they fail to achieve the greatness they're capable of. If you want to achieve your full potential, you need to stop letting fear hold you back. You need to embrace failure, welcome it as a stepping stone on your path to greatness. The next time you face a fear of failure, ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen? And then ask yourself, what's the best that could happen? If you're only looking at the worst case scenario, you'll always be too scared to try. But if you look at the potential for success, the risks become worth it. Mediocrity is the greatest enemy of success. Mediocrity is the silent killer of dreams. Most people settle for average because it's comfortable. They are too afraid to push for excellence because they fear the pressure, the responsibility, or the effort it takes to rise above the crowd. Mediocrity gives them a false sense of security. They get by, they survive, but they never truly live. They live in a state of good enough. And this is exactly what prevents them from reaching their full potential. You see, the moment you settle for mediocrity, you stop growing, you stop improving, you stop pushing yourself. You start to believe that where you are is good enough. But here's the thing. It will never be good enough if you're serious about reaching your full potential. Mediocrity is the enemy of greatness, and it's the reason most people never achieve what they're capable of. But mediocrity is seductive. It whispers in your ear that you don't need to work so hard, that you can relax, that you can take it easy. It tells you that good enough is okay. And that's when you start losing. Mediocrity convinces you to lower your standards, to be satisfied with less, and to accept that this is as good as it gets. But the truth is, that's not true. You're capable of so much more. If you can only get over your comfort zone and push yourself. The problem with mediocrity is that it numbs you. It makes you complacent. It makes you feel like you've done enough, that there's no need to strive for anything more. But if you truly want to make an impact, if you truly want to reach your full potential, you cannot afford to be mediocre. You need to push yourself every single day to be better than you were yesterday. You need to raise your standards and refuse to settle for anything less than excellence. Mediocrity is the ultimate betrayal of your potential, and if you don't stop accepting it, you never know what you could have achieved. Mediocrity is the greatest enemy of success. Mediocrity isn't something that hits you all at once. It's insidious. It sneaks up on you, one small concession at a time. It starts with little things, saying, I'll do it tomorrow, skipping a workout, taking the easier route instead of the harder one. And before you know it, mediocrity becomes your default setting. The worst part is that when you're stuck in mediocrity, you don't even realize how far you've fallen. It becomes normal. Your standards drop and you stop believing that you could achieve more. Mediocrity makes you think that just getting by is enough. It convinces you that you're doing well when in reality you're wasting your potential. And if you keep following this path, you'll end up looking back years from now, full of regret, wondering why you didn't try harder. But mediocrity isn't just about personal failure. It affects everyone around you. When you settle for less than your best, you're not just failing yourself. You're failing your family, your colleagues, your community, and everyone who could have benefited from the best version of you. You have an obligation to be your best, not just for you, but for everyone you influence. Mediocrity doesn't just hold you back, it holds everyone else back too. If you want to be truly successful, you need to demand excellence from yourself. Every day you need to ask yourself, am I doing my absolute best? And if the answer is no, then you need to do whatever it takes to change that. Mediocrity is a poison and it spreads quickly. Once it settles in, it's incredibly difficult to get rid of. But if you can reject it, if you can push yourself to be extraordinary, then and only then will you break free from the chains that are holding you back. I'm not saying it's easy, it's hard, it's painful, it takes work, but the work is worth it. Mediocrity might feel comfortable in the short term, but it will destroy your dreams in the long term. Mediocrity is your enemy, and it will stop you from ever achieving your full potential. If you want to reach the top, you need to reject mediocrity in all its forms. The comfort zone is your worst enemy. Most people are living a life of comfort, and that's the problem. You're not here to live a comfortable life. You're not here to settle for mediocrity and just get by. The moment you get comfortable, you stop growing. The moment you stop growing, you start dying. It's as simple as that. Comfort is the killer of progress, and it's the reason why most people never reach their full potential. The comfort zone is like a warm, cozy prison. It feels safe, it feels familiar, but it's also suffocating. The comfort zone keeps you from taking risks, from doing things that push you to your limits, and from stepping outside of what you already know. And here's the harsh truth. Nothing remarkable happens inside your comfort zone. Nothing. No breakthroughs, no major successes, no life-changing moments. All the magic happens outside of that bubble you've created for yourself. People live in their comfort zones because they fear what's beyond them. They fear the unknown, the uncertainty, and the struggle. But the people who achieve greatness, the ones who rise above the 99%, are those who are willing to walk into the unknown. They understand that without discomfort, there is no progress. Every time they step outside their comfort zone, they grow. Every time they face a challenge, they become stronger. Most people tell themselves that they'll take action someday or when the time is right. They wait for the perfect moment, but that moment never comes. They wait until everything aligns perfectly, until they feel comfortable enough to make a move. But if you wait for comfort to arrive, you'll never act. Comfort is the enemy of ambition. It's the reason you're stuck, and it's the reason most people will never reach their full potential. If you want to be someone who actually makes things happen, you need to embrace discomfort. You need to seek out situations that make you uncomfortable, that force you to grow and adapt. You need to welcome the struggle, because that's where the real transformation happens. Every time you push past your comfort zone, you take a step toward achieving your full potential. So stop waiting for things to be perfect. Stop waiting for things to feel easy. Get uncomfortable. It's the only way to grow. The comfort zone is your worst enemy. The comfort zone is insidious. It tricks you into thinking you're making progress when, in reality, you're not. You're simply surviving. It makes you believe that you're doing fine, that there's no need to push yourself any harder, no need to take risks. The comfort zone is where you play it safe, where you follow the rules, where you stick to what you know. And it's where your potential goes to die. But think about it. How can you grow if you're never challenged? How can you reach your highest potential if you never push yourself beyond what you already know? You can't. That's why people in their comfort zones never achieve anything extraordinary. They don't take the hard path. They don't take the risks. And they don't face the challenges that lead to growth. If you want to achieve something meaningful, something that sets you apart from the masses, you must be willing to leave the comfort zone behind. You need to challenge yourself every day. Seek out new experiences. Try things that scare you. Push your boundaries. This is how you grow. This is how you get better. The more uncomfortable you get, the more you evolve. But here's the catch. Your comfort zone will fight back. It will pull you in and make you believe that staying where you are is safer, that it's easier, that it's the right thing to do. But that's the lie that keeps you stuck. Comfort does not equal safety. It equals stagnation. The moment you step outside your comfort zone, you enter the realm of growth and potential. It's in the struggle, the discomfort, and the challenge where the magic happens. If you look at anyone who has achieved greatness, you'll see that they didn't do it from the comfort zone. They pushed themselves to the limit. They failed, they learned, they got back up, and they kept pushing forward. This is the only way to make significant progress. The people who don't push beyond their comfort zones are the ones who end up wondering, what if, when they're older? Don't let that be you. Embrace discomfort and let it propel you to greatness. Lack of discipline and consistency will keep you average. Discipline is the backbone of success. Without discipline, all the talent, potential, and ideas in the world are worthless. It doesn't matter how smart you are, how many resources you have, or how many opportunities come your way. If you don't have the discipline to take consistent action day after day, you will never reach your full potential. The truth is, discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you build. It's a muscle that gets stronger the more you use it. And consistency is the key to making discipline work for you. You can't be disciplined one day and lazy the next. You can't be on fire for a week and then fall off for a month. Success comes from showing up every single day, doing the work, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's tough, even when you want to quit. Most people fail at this because they rely too much on motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Some days you feel like conquering the world. Other days you feel like doing nothing. If you only act when you feel motivated, you will never achieve anything substantial. Consistency is what separates the winners from the losers. It's the ability to keep going, even when things are hard. It's the ability to stay disciplined when the world tells you to take it easy. You need to develop an unbreakable routine, something that forces you to stay on track no matter what. You need to set goals and make sure that you're taking actionable steps every single day to achieve them. This means showing up even when it's inconvenient, even when you're tired, even when the world is telling you to relax. You need to focus on the small tasks that add up to the big achievements. Because if you fail to do the small things consistently, the big things will never happen. And when you start building this discipline, you'll see results. It won't be fast, it won't be easy, and it won't be glamorous, but it will be real and it will be lasting. The people who succeed are the ones who have mastered the art of discipline. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on consistency. They don't wait for the perfect moment to act, they act every single day, no matter how they feel. And this is what gives them the edge over everyone else. Without discipline and consistency, your dreams will remain just that. Dreams. Lack of discipline and consistency will keep you average. Discipline is something that the average person overlooks. They think that they can get by without it, that they can succeed based on talent, luck, or some magical formula. But the truth is, the people who achieve their potential are the ones who are disciplined enough to stick to their goals no matter what. It's easy to be motivated when things are going well. It's easy to act when everything is aligned and perfect. But real success doesn't come from doing what's easy. It comes from doing what's hard, from showing up when you don't feel like it, and from maintaining a level of consistency that most people can't handle. People who lack discipline spend their days waiting for the right opportunity to strike. They wait for inspiration, for motivation, for the perfect moment. But that moment never comes. Success doesn't happen when everything is perfect. It happens when you commit to the grind, when you stay disciplined enough to keep pushing forward, even when everything seems against you. Most people fail because they stop when the going gets tough. They make excuses, they blame circumstances, they wait for a better time. But if you really want to succeed, you have to make the time. You have to make the commitment. You have to put in the work every single day, even when you don't see immediate results. Success is built over time, and it's the consistency that compounds into massive success. Think about someone who works out every day. It's not the single workout that transforms them. It's the consistent effort over months and years that builds the body they want. The same principle applies to anything else in life. If you want to build a business, create wealth, or develop expertise in any field, you need to put in the work consistently, day after day. You need to show up even when it's hard. Success requires a relentless commitment to discipline. And while motivation may get you started, it's discipline that keeps you going. If you want to achieve your full potential, you must build your discipline muscle every single day. Start small, stay consistent, and over time, you will begin to see results. But if you choose to be inconsistent, if you choose to be undisciplined, you will remain average. That's not the life you want, is it? Your circle will either lift you up or drag you down. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you want to reach your full potential, you need to surround yourself with people who push you, challenge you, and inspire you. If you're surrounded by mediocrity, you will become mediocre. If you're surrounded by negativity, you will become negative. The people you associate with have a massive impact on your mindset, your behavior, and your success. The majority of people are surrounded by people who are just like them. People who don't push them to be better. People who are content with staying where they are. These are the people who drag you down, who tell you that your dreams are unrealistic, who make you doubt yourself. They are the ones who reinforce your comfort zone, who encourage you to play it safe. And they are the ones keeping you from reaching your full potential. But successful people know this truth. They choose their circle carefully. They surround themselves with people who are ahead of them, who are on the same level, or who are pushing even harder than they are. These people motivate you, they challenge you, they force you to level up, they don't let you get comfortable, they hold you accountable, and they don't let you settle for anything less than your best. It's time to evaluate your circle. Who are the people in your life? Are they helping you grow, or are they holding you back? Are they pushing you to strive for greatness, or are they encouraging you to stay small? If your circle is full of people who aren't challenging you, it's time to find a new one. Get rid of the toxic people, the energy drainers, and the negative influences. You can't afford to waste time with people who don't believe in you or don't want you to succeed. Surround yourself with people who are as hungry as you are, who have the same goals, and who are willing to push themselves just like you are. This is the key to breaking through your limitations and reaching your full potential. Your circle can either help you rise or keep you stuck in mediocrity. Choose wisely. Your circle will either lift you up or drag you down. The people you spend time with shape your mindset, your behaviors, and your outcomes. If you're surrounded by people who complain, who are satisfied with mediocrity, and who never strive for more, you will become like them. You will adopt their mindset, their habits, and their level of ambition. And when that happens, you can kiss your potential goodbye. But when you surround yourself with high achievers, with people who are pushing the envelope and striving for greatness, you can't help but be inspired. These people will challenge you, inspire you, and make you realize that you're capable of so much more than you thought. When you spend time with people who are hungry for success, you can't help but raise your own standards. The reality is, most people are not surrounded by the right people. They are surrounded by mediocrity, by people who are too afraid to chase their dreams or who are content with a life of average. And that's why they never achieve their full potential. You cannot rise above your environment unless you actively choose to change it. You have to consciously seek out people who challenge you, who demand more from you, and who will hold you accountable. This doesn't mean you have to cut out every person who isn't striving for greatness, but it does mean that you have to spend more time with the right people. People who are as driven as you are, people who will encourage you to reach your potential. If you don't have that circle yet, it's time to start building it. Join groups, attend events, find mentors, and make connections with people who are ahead of you. The more you surround yourself with people who are committed to growth and success, the faster you will reach your full potential. Choose your circle carefully. The people around you will either propel you forward or drag you down. You get to decide which one it will be.